Samsung has just released the S25 series, and if you expected Samsung to completely redesign these phones, then you are going to be disappointed, as these phones look identical to the S24 series and to the S23 series. So the base S25 and the S25 Plus does not get any big hardware upgrades other than them being powered by the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, which is tuned for Galaxy devices, along with 12 gigs of RAM being standard across all the three phones. And this time around, all three phones in all markets will be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, unlike last year where the Galaxy S24 and the S25 Plus was powered by the Exynos chipset in many markets. And coming to the S25 Ultra, the phone looks almost identical to its predecessor, but the corners has been rounded off, which makes it easier to handle the phone. But in doing so, the phone no longer stands out, as it looks similar to the base S25 phones and to all the other Samsung phones. Other changes includes a slightly bigger 6.9-inch screen and improved anti-reflective coating, which makes using the phone much better when you're outside. The S25 Ultra is also powered by the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset along with 12 gigs of RAM. The phone also gets a new 50MP ultra-wide camera, while the rest of the cameras remain unchanged from last year's model. But sadly, the S Pen has been downgraded, as it now has lost all the Bluetooth connectivity, so you can't use it as a remote shutter for your camera, and the air gestures are also no longer possible, and I feel this is going to be a deal breaker for the fans of the phone. Coming to the software, the One UI 7 seems to have improved a lot in many areas, and it has been loaded with a ton of new AI features which will be readily available to all users, and they don't have to wait for the AI features to be slowly added to the phones over multiple software updates. But if you ask me how useful these AI features are, my answer would be not very much, because in my opinion, other than the text formatting tools and the circle to search feature, rest of them feels like a gimmick. And these days every launch event is just mainly all about adding a bunch of new AI features to new phones. So to sum it all up, the phones in the S25 lineup is just slightly more powerful than its predecessors, and the design of these phones is starting to feel a bit repetitive and a bit boring. The base models haven't received any significant upgrades in 2 years, aside from the new chipset and the increase in RAM size. The S25 Ultra had the potential to stand out, especially with the 16GB RAM variant, but sadly that model is not available globally, which is quite an odd decision to make. But these phones would have been an exciting option to purchase if it got a refreshed design, or if the phones had some more hardware upgrades like maybe a bigger battery, faster charging speeds, anti-reflective coating on the base S25 and the S25 Plus, or at least an upgraded set of cameras. But sadly none of those happened, and if you already have the S24 Ultra, then there is no real reason to rush to upgrade to the S25 Ultra. But if you're using an older phone and is in the market for a new flagship phone, then the S25 lineup is a great choice, especially if you don't mind having the hardware from the Galaxy S24 lineup. And the S25, S25 Plus and the S25 Ultra does offer impressive performance, as it is powered by the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, which is tuned for Galaxy devices. And they also have some great specs, and they also promise 7 years of software updates. Anyway, let's hope the S26 series will get a complete redesign next year to compete with the iPhone 17 series, which is rumored to be completely redesigned. And if you want to find out some of the hidden features on Samsung Galaxy phones and watches, then check out these two videos here. And if you enjoyed this video, then drop a like, and a sub to the channel would be a huge encouragement for me.